Ha 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 ha. Firstly, sorry. We're late. We're late by exactly 21 minutes. But this is a never-ending love affair, right? बहुत कुछ लिखा गया है चैट में। हो मैं एनी भाई को पढ़ाऊंगा तो हंस हंस के पागल हो जाएगा। उस पर ही एक अलग शो निकल सकता है। एक तो मैंने भाई लिखा था कमिंग सून। जब बीच में एक इंटरनेट कनेक्शन ठीक नहीं आया था तो मैंने 5-6 ओ डाल दिए थे उसमें। जैसे ये इतने ओस डाले इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ लग रहा है। लगता है कल्टी मारने वाले हैं ये लोग। But yeah, okay. So we have braved all the issues that we did, internet, hotel, and everything. But we are here in front of you because we're building up to the second game of the Hero Tri Nation Cup for India and the final game. India draws that game and India ने ये Hero Tri Nation अपने नाम कर लिया। हमारा भाई वहाँ पे है और प्रैक्टिस सेशंस फॉलो कर रहा है वहाँ पे टीम की। भाई साहब ने आज गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू से भी बातचीत करी है, उन्होंने ईगोर स्टीमैच से भी बातचीत करी है, फिटनेस कोच से भी बातचीत करी है, तो काफ़ी माल मसाला है। भाई बिफोर एनीथिंग आई वांट टू गेट स्ट्रेट टू द what you saw in the formation. Now, don't go by what my thing is because, of course, it can be a little different. I put it as a 4-4-2, and the reason the centre back thing doesn't have an image is because this place did not have a photo of Sandesh Jingan for some bizarre reason. It had everyone else's photo, but Sandesh ki photo nahi hai, so that is Sandesh. Now, just take me through this formation and what led you to tell me that this is the way they're going to go out and play. And is it going to be a simple 4-4-2 that we're used to seeing, or is there a little bit of tweaks here and there in the 4-4-2?
I think the sense I'm getting is that it'll be a diamond, yeah. So
for the midfielders.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 4-4-2, but with the diamond. So the idea being that less focus on what has become kind of one of the key points in all our conversations, which is the wingers.
Yeah.
Wingers and then obviously the fullbacks in correlation to that. So instead of playing that system, going to a more sort of traditional 4-4-2 kind of. Obviously, this also changes. So it's more like a 4-1. So 4-1-2-1-2. No. That's how it kind
4-4-2 in a diamond.
I think also the positions of Sunil and Manveer will switch. Have you gone or?
No, no. What I'm trying to say is that if you see, Rohit will possibly be ahead of the stopper backs in that diamond.
Yeah.
Brandon will probably be up top, linking up with Sunil and Manveer. Suresh will be right and Mahesh will be left. And I think it's a smart move, bhai, because आप फिर middle of the park में numbers भर रहे हो and you're telling Kotal and Roshan Singh to bomb up, right? So you're going to be putting a lot of numbers in front. It should be an interesting watch, huh? Was that the focus, that crosses are coming in from Kotal and Roshan, and there's a lot of interchanging of positional play because sab itne pass honge, you can make those changes in positions going forward.
Absolutely, yeah. That and the fact that because of the way the league is and things have been in the league, you find Indian wingers coming up against Indian fullbacks, right? More or less, that's essentially how it's been. The spine of most of the club sides is foreign players. In those core positions in the middle that we talk about often. And therefore, on the wings, you have Changte coming up against an Indian fullback, whoever it might be. Same for
Bipin.
Whoever is playing on the other side. So in the last game, who played in the last game? Sorry, I've completely blanked.
Bad internet, bhai. Bad internet. हाँ, आ गया वापस आप.
I was saying who was playing on the other side in the last game? I've completely blanked on
Bipin tha bhai.
Bipin. Yeah. So I mean, there were not much reservations from the coaching staff on how Bipin did in the last game.
What do you mean by not much reservation? In the sense that ye theek hai, ye
in the sense that it was labeled a quite poor performance. Yeah. Not showing the kind of and also some of these things like you were saying, I was talking to Gurpreet earlier. And he was also kind of reinforcing the fact that uh, the national team and all of these players need to spend a lot more time together, yeah, because there's a gap between what happens, in the club sides, uh, and when you come into the national team, the kind of role you're meant to play, the understanding of what the coach is trying to convey, trying to make you do, that takes a bit of a it takes a minute to get used to, right? So because of
What
this
is he
four
trying to
days,
do? Did he specify what is he trying to do? Um,
as in, even if when you're working drills, right, the kind of movement he's looking for from the players, the kind of when you are attacking the ball, where like we were talking in the like what Kennedy was saying, movement from other players. You can't have this idea that the wingers will bomb up and put balls in but have no one in there to receive those balls, nah. So the
hmm, hmm.
movement from the entire team then has to be in sync, and that's essentially what he's trying to do, is to get everyone on the same page, which is what any coach is trying to do. And in that sense, Gurpreet also confirmed that with a limited amount of time together, the more time you get together, basically the more cohesive. What is the internet problematic?
Yeah,
Is that why
but
you're
ठीक है
shaking
भाई,
your head,
go
or you
ahead.
don't like what I'm saying?
No, it's the internet. I have never not liked what you're saying. Um, it's the
So
internet.
let me see if I can switch to my hotspot, man. One sec.
So, okay, so while you're doing that, let me just run everyone through the formation. So this is what we have in front of you. Don't go on face value कि मतलब ऐसे सेटअप होगा, पर 4 मिडफील्ड में होंगे, 4 डिफेंस में होंगे। वो सेंटर बैक में संदेश का फोटो इसलिए नहीं लगा क्योंकि जो ऐप मैं यूज कर रहा था उसमें फॉर सम बिजार रीजन एवरीवन्स फोटो इज देयर, नावरम महेश सिंह फोटो इज देयर, संदेश का फोटो नहीं मिला मुझे। बट दिस इज एसेंशियली द लाइनअप एंड इफ यू लुक एट इट for what it is, it looks like a very attack minded lineup. Okay, because if you go by what Anibhai was saying and what he saw in the practice session, it means that you'll have the 4 defenders. Anwar Ali hoga Sandesh ke saath. Unke upar hoga Rohit Kumar, who's impressed one and all for Bengaluru and looks like a prospect for the national team. Then if you're playing a 4-man diamond, in the 4-man diamond, to aage kaun hoga? Brandon hoga aage, who will play possibly in between the lines in that hole in trying to assist Manveer Singh and Sunil Chhetri. Suresh will be a lot more inside. So Suresh is not a player जो line पे खेलता है. Naorem Mahesh Singh also is, I mean, line पे खेलता है, but Naorem Mahesh Singh has that ability. If you saw whatever छोटा बॉट आपने उसमें देखा, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ ISL का देखा कि ये लड़का लेफ्ट पे भी खेल सकता है, ये लड़का अंदर भी खेल सकता है क्योंकि 2 फुटेड है। 2 फुटेड है तो मतलब इसको ना एकदम से इसके लिए दुनिया खुल जाती है। तो you're not really dependent on just one leg. So in that sense, he can drop in, give space to Roshan. If he doesn't want to drop in, he can hug the line. And I don't know if Indian football has started playing the way you started seeing in the Premier League, where a fullback is coming into the midfield in the center. तो वो भी एक ऑप्शन मिल जाता है, मुझे पता नहीं वो होगा कि नहीं, बट ये सब ऑप्शंस आपके सामने आ जाते हैं। एंड ऑफ कोर्स देन दैट मींस अगर सुरेश सिंह वांगजाम आपके राइट साइड पे हैं, तो मतलब प्रीतम कोटाल को जगह मिलेगा आगे भागने का। एंड माइंड यू, what will happen, and if they do that, I'm saying the aim is that since you got Sandesh and Anwar Ali, two guys who are adept at bombing those balls forward, especially diagonal balls, not the straight balls, the diagonal balls. If you bomb the diagonal balls forward, then you've got to have men in front, not just to receive the ball, but as soon as they receive the ball, there should be 2 3 options in front of them. So this lineup sort of helps that, कि आप कोटाल को ढूंढ रहे हो, रोशन सिंह को ढूंढ रहे हो, या सुरेश को ढूंढ रहे हो. सो व्हाट इट डज डू, इट गिव्स यू फ्लूइडिटी इन चेंजिंग पोजीशन. अगर आप एक ही पोजीशन पे बैठे रहोगे, सारे पत्ते ऐसे ही आपके सामने आएंगे और वैसे वापस जाएंगे, तो भाई आप तो इंटरनेशनल लेवल की फुटबॉल खेल रहे हो ना, वो तो पकड़ लेंगे आपको. पर अगर आप सारे ऐसे जाओगे, सडनली एक ऐसे आ गया, एक अंदर आ गया, एक बाहर चले गया, सुनील नीचे आ गया, मनवीर राइट पे चले गया. And this is the point that Annie is trying to make. And what Gurpreet was telling Annie today is that all of this happens when you spend time together. I heard on the comments कोई कह रहा था कि do not give excuses. International level football में आपको 1 हफ्ते का कैंप मिलता है, वर्ल्ड कप के लिए 1 हफ्ते का कैंप मिलता है. अबे हम कौन सा वर्ल्ड कप के लेवल हैं, थोड़ी असलियत भी तो अपनी देखो ना भाई. बॉब हाउटन जब एशियन कप की टीम लेके गया 2011 में, हम यही बात करते रहते ना, क्या लीग आपको प्रिपेयर करता है कि नहीं. लीग नहीं प्रिपेयर कर पाता आपको इंटरनेशनल लेवल फुटबॉल के लिए, बिकॉज अभी भी बहुत ज्यादा गैप है. Is the league improving? Of course, the league is improving. But has the improvement caught up with the way you play international level football against higher ranked opponent in cup quality competitions? Possibly not. So what it means is you need more time with the team. You need more time with the team, which could be 2 weeks, it could be a week, it could be what the coach is saying is that it could be 4 weeks for the Asian Cup. So in that sense, that cohesion will come if you spend time off the field together in practice sessions and so on. But I like the look of this lineup, bhai. I like the look of this lineup. True to his style, he's changed it, and we expected it because
No, no,
वो
this is
change
not
तो
a
होना ही था.
confirmed lineup, huh? Bhai, this is my idea of like the sense I got. So
भाई
don't take it as
नहीं ठीक है ना भाई, हम आपके सेंस से ही जा रहे हैं, आप हमारे आईज एंड ईयर्स हैं वहाँ पे. आई एम सेइंग इवन इफ ही डज प्ले दिस लाइनअप और समवेयर क्लोज टू दिस लाइनअप, I like the look of it. I like the look of it because you're sort of saying I'm taking you on. क्योंकि मैं घर पे खेल रहा हूँ भाई. अरे मैं घर पे खेल रहा हूँ और मैं चाहे किर्गिस्तान हो चाहे कोई भी हो, अभी तू घर पे आया मेरे से खेलने के लिए तो मैं पीछे नहीं बैठूंगा भाई. मैं तो चढ़ूंगा आप पे. And like Renedy Bhai keeps on
बिल्कुल.
saying, there lies the biggest challenge. When you have to open the game up, when you have to hold the ball, and when you have to make spaces to move ahead in the opposition half,
Yeah.
there lies the biggest challenge. So it promises to be an interesting watch, at least. And
Oh,
how
yeah,
long this
absolutely.
can this formula?
Yeah. And also, I think it was noticed, man, how little action there was in the middle of the pitch in the last
Hmm.
game against Myanmar.
Yeah, because I
So,
feel
so big,
Jackson is very immobile भाई. वो मतलब वो बहुत simple, वो मतलब he does his
हाँ,
job. अपनी
yeah,
area
yeah,
mark करता है वो.
yeah,
But in terms of linking up and वो
yeah,
बहुत अभी भी I think he's got lots to do.
yeah. So that's why for me, like Rohit or even Suresh and what you're talking about interchanging positions, moving in and out of each other's spaces. Like Suresh also offers you that mobility and that work rate. At least and he's good also to kind of back up the defense when needed,
Hmm.
link up with the attack when that is the situation. So I think this looks like also kind of the starting point of the kind of teams we might see at the Asian Cup.
Hmm. Hmm.
Of
Hmm.
course, a
Hmm.
lot will depend there on the kind of draw we get and what happens there, because
Yeah.
it's not. But you have if to give yourself any kind of a chance. And Manveer is also that kind of a player who fights.
Is that a
He
good
gets in the
season? Is
face.
that a good
Yeah,
season?
yeah, and he gets in the face of the opponent. He's always a threat. Yeah, he's a physical threat. He puts in good balls and he has a killer foot when it works. So I think Manveer definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure those two will start in front.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure the back line will look like what we've talked about.
Yeah.
Keeper, he might, give someone else a chance. But I don't think. I think Gurpreet now also is pushing a bit for. Not that he said it, but like obviously everyone wants to play. You haven't come here to sit on the bench. Uh,
Yeah. Of
so
course.
so I think he's going to push more to have that number one spot as his own spot, at least
I mean,
in the lead
it's
up
always
to.
his. It's been his
No, no,
for
I know
the
it's
longest
his,
time.
but also I guess they're trying backups and things like that. And Amrinder didn't have a bad game. I mean, he didn't have much to do except that
But
Chetri header.
his
But but
distribution still, I think, leads a lot to be,
yeah,
uh,
so some of those things we'll have to see. Or Gurpreet also distribution wise,
hmm.
uh, you know, there are good days and there are bad days. He could also pop one all the way forward and get an assist. You never
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
But sometimes so I think our best bet in goal is definitely Gurpreet,
Yeah.
and these two guys playing forward because, like you said, man, you're playing at home. You're
Yes.
playing against a crowd that wants to see something from the team
Yeah. And you've
in
got them
front of a
sleepy
crowd, not
also
against the
in
crowd.
the build-up.
Yeah. So, and today in the morning we had gone to watch the Reliance Foundation Development League is going on here.
Hmm.
So we had gone to watch a local match uh, at 10 o'clock in the morning in the heat at the turf ground here. There were close to 1,000 people watching the game. Yeah,
Brilliant, man.
It- it's amazing. Yeah, and
Hmm. Hmm.
the two local clubs, local academy teams, essentially playing against each other. And at that level, you're seeing the kind of coaching that the boys are getting. They are comfortable on the ball. They are trying to do things. The match ended in a nil-nil draw, so there were no goals. But the crowd was very much engaged every time they saw a player doing something, attempting something, or every
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
they saw the team kind of trying to build something, right? So if Stimac can give the crowd day after tomorrow something like that, where at least the effort is there, the ideas are there, and I think that's why Brandon plays a role, because you don't have so many options of players who can do things in the middle and have ideas. I think
But I
Mahesh
have,
also, everyone
huh,
is super impressed with Mahesh, by the way.
but
Obviously, these guys are seeing him for the first time. Some of us have seen him a little bit more than that.
hmm.
Uh, but super impressed with the kind of confidence with which he approaches the game. He comes onto the pitch and he's nice and easy. He's relaxed. Okay, he doesn't have the most muscle mass of any player
हाँ,
on the
वो
pitch,
तो साफ
but
झलक रहा था, कॉन्फिडेंट था.
that's not his
हाँ,
scene. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's okay to take on players. He's okay to take his time on the ball, look for a pass, and then play it off. And he has vision as well. So I think more time for Mahesh, definitely, irrespective of what else happens in this game and who starts or who doesn't. I think
Hmm.
more time for Mahesh for sure, and we'll see a different combination in the back four.
But I don't know where this. I think Brandon के लिए, from a Brandon perspective, and okay,
Yeah,
let's forget what he's done in the past. I'm just saying current state. I think in a sense Brandon is playing for his place.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
He
he's
is
playing for his place.
very
I
much
think he's
so.
playing for
Yeah,
his place.
yeah.
उसका
You can tell a
guaranteed
bit
नहीं
from
है
his
भाई.
body language as well
हाँ,
that
उसका
he
गारंटीड
there
नहीं है
is
भाई, क्योंकि वो
नहीं है
उसको
बिल्कुल
जगह दे रहा है खेलने के लिए. हालांकि थापा वहां पे आता है उसके सामने एनी डे.
बिल्कुल
थापा
या
उसके सामने आता है.
या
अगर रोहित कुमार भी चल गया, एंड वांगजान तो है ही, वो रेगुलरली लड़का खेल रहा है उस दैट एंटायर, मतलब इट्स क्रेजी भाई. अंडर
या
17 बैच का वो एक लड़का कैप्टन था, कैप्टनसी से हटाया गया. और उस बैच में से सबके बारे में बात हो रही थी, इसके बारे में इतनी बात हो नहीं रही थी इस लड़के के बारे में. बट हाउ ही इज टेकन टू सीनियर लेवल फुटबॉल
या
and he's grabbed on to it.
या
You can see. So and he's grown step by step. I think Brandon is really playing for his place. I don't know how he'll do, because जितना मैंने देखा है Brandon under pressure, as opposed to Brandon getting space in empty spaces and then looking and finding people. That direction is there on his feet. On the set pieces, of course, he's giving good, but the run, how much he's giving you in the runs and in those channels behind Chetri and Manveer, how much
या
will he be able to add to? At least so far मैंने इतना नहीं देखा. एंड सब लोग कह रहे हैं यार एक्सपेरिमेंट एक्सपेरिमेंट हो रहा है यहाँ पे, बट यार ये तो हमें पता था कि एक्सपेरिमेंट होना है. वो तो लास्ट मैच में हमने बात करी उसके बाद कि एक्सपेरिमेंट आपने तब क्यों किया. लेकिन अब इस मैच में यू हैव टू प्ले वन ऑफ योर स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट लाइनअप्स. ब्रैंडन को आप लाए हो तो आप ब्रैंडन को ट्राई करना चाहते हो. अनवर अली आया हुआ है, उसको आप ट्राई करना चाहते हो. रोहित कुमार को आप ट्राई करना चाहते हो. um, तो वो भी एक नज़रिया है कि आप इन लड़कों को खिलाओ और इनको एक टाइम दो खेलने के लिए. भाई और क्या देखा आपने? और बातचीत किससे करी है आपने इन द बिल्डअप? श्रीमाच साहब से बात करी है आपने कुछ?
हाँ हाँ बात की of course and just to give you guys a heads up, I don't know how many people are watching, but we have an 11 a.m. appointment with him tomorrow.
ओए होए!
So yeah, so in fact after the show we can chat a bit about how we'll engineer that interview, whether we want to do it over Zoom and you want to join as well, or how we do that. Do we want to do it as a live or whatever? We'll figure that out.
हाँ,
But yeah, we get some time with the coach. He also takes time out to speak to people.
हाँ.
Because like we know also his time now is kind of fixed as to when he'll, I mean if they go on and win the Asian Cup or something like that, then obviously there'll be a different conversation happening, but
ज़्यादा हो गया.
that's obviously this is thoda काफी ज़्यादा हो गया. But even
खुद
if
से निकल
the
गया.
team makes it out of the group stage,
हुँ, हुँ,
something we were chatting with Gurpreet about today a little bit. हाँ
हुँ. कैरी ऑन.
हाँ फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव तो वही होना चाहिए कि ग्रुप से निकल के आगे जाएं. तो अगर उतना भी हुआ तो आई थिंक देन द होल परसेप्शन ऑफ व्हाट स्टीमैच हैज डन इन हिज टाइम, I mean there can be, I think, no two opinions on the fact that he needs to spend more time in country. You can't be India coach and spending all your time at home.
हुँ,
So no two opinions on that, but like if the next few months go well and if these guys manage to do something, then maybe we'll be having a different kind of conversation, because it's not like people are lining up for this job. and that there are so many great prospects in that role as head coach. That because the fact is you don't have foreign players in the scene here. It's you have to play with the guy. And while I agree that okay, one approach can be that you pick your 14, 15 players and you use them, but then you're detracting from whatever little your league is even incrementally improving. आप उसको भी कोई मायने नहीं दे रहे हैं, फिर आप किस बेसिस पे आप 14 15 पिक करेंगे? Like for me, of course there are personal preferences for certain players in certain positions, but I think there are 30 or 40 guys, the top guys, any of them can actually do the same kind of job, more or less.
No, I
Right?
don't
There are
know.
a few people, of course, that you need in key roles.
Yeah.
But so like all of the guys who are saying 14, 15, who are your 14, 15, and who is to say that you play? If I play my 14 against your 14, that the
But
result won't be either.
the point isn't that, na? The point is that you grill that 14, 15 in internet. See, what I was saying is, it's pretty evident. The gap between the league you're playing in, whether it was I League or whatever it was in the past, and now also, the gap from that league to international level is still quite a bit. It's immense. ठीक है? तो वो हमें भी पता है. Which is why the need for longer camps, so that you get ready to go and play in the international level mold, right? But then the point is, when you get into that mold to play that lineup with a 14, 15, you have a better chance of a cohesive unit as opposed to using 30, 40 and then saying, "Acha, ab आओ," because I don't think you're in that position. सर आपके पास वो पोजीशन है नहीं अभी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फुटबॉल पे। पर ये बात बहुत हो चुकी है भाई, मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर आपने कोच साहब से बात करी तो इसके बारे में क्या बात हुई? क्योंकि रिएक्शंस आ रहे हैं हर जगह से, जो उन्होंने मणिपुर को बोला कि निंदे आ रहे हैं, वहाँ के जो अच्छे फैन्स, और आप मणिपुर में बैठे हुए हैं। ये वरेला साहब हैं, हू इज़ विद बेंगलुरु एफसी, द अदर क्लब इन
No, yeah.
बैंगलोर।
So I'm. मतलब I don't want to talk too much about it. Uh,
बट डिड यू टॉक
I
टू हिम
think
अबाउट इट? डिड यू आस्क हिम?
there is a bit of miscommunication or whatever, right? वो अंग्रेजी में बात कर रहा है, उसका भी फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज नहीं है, हमारा भी फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज नहीं है, right? The crowd here, like I was saying, you need to give them something to engage with. They are not ultras. लोग बहुत बहुत दूर से आ रहे हैं, बहुत मतलब काफी कुछ झेल के आ रहे हैं to get even the northeast Manipur still is like our good friend says 50 years behind India, and India is 50 years behind the rest of the world. So even for someone from the periphery of Imphal to come for a 6 p.m. kickoff, by 8 o'clock in the evening, most of the places shut down. Things have changed in the last 5-6 years. Things have changed a lot, but we cannot suddenly sort of adopt this narrative that everything is normal and this is as much a part of or exactly the same as any other part of the country. It's not. We have not accommodated this region in many different ways, infrastructurally, in terms of just daylight hours, right? There's a
But
strong argument for a different time zone, and those things will make a major impact. If we had an Eastern Standard Time in India that was, let's say, half an hour or 1 hour behind the rest, or ahead of the rest of the country, as it is, so everything starts very early in the morning and closes very early in the evening. So people are putting in a lot of effort and they are buying tickets to come. Right, this is by GDP numbers, this is the second poorest state in the entire country. People are spending 500 rupees plus transport, plus आप आओगे थोड़ा बहुत चाय वाय कुछ 10-20-50 रुपए वहां पे भी खर्चोगे. It's a decent amount of commitment to support the team to see a full house in Manipur. So yes, it is slightly disrespectful in the sense that I don't think the understanding is there of the situation on the ground in this part of the world.
Did he mean to say what he said? Is what I'm asking. Or was that a
No, I think what he meant to say was
lost in
make some more
translation?
noise. That's all he. That's all he was saying, and the response has also been fairly clear. You play a little better football, and we'll make some more noise. But
No,
again,
that is only Renedy. But I'm saying anyone else. You're talking to people on the ground, fans, former players.
many people,
Um,
yeah, many people,
are
many
they
people.
speaking
Actually,
about
the
this? Are they
reaction,
speaking about this?
like this morning, for example, no one really cares what the coach is saying or not saying, but people were saying that the performance of the team was so poor that Niroka would beat them. That's the kind of conversation that was happening. The level of
Mm-hmm.
engagement that the fans had in this local league game where kids are playing, it's mostly under 21 kids that are playing this game, is far higher than what we saw. I mean, of course, it also helps that the turf ground is a football specific ground, so everyone is that much closer to the action. Even the small amount of noise becomes amplified when you're that close to the pitch. यहाँ
Yeah.
पे at the main stadium where the matches are happening, there's an athletics track, so it's a bit far away. And again, like I was saying last time, I'm quite surprised and a bit disappointed that all these ultras and people from Calcutta, people from Bangalore, people from Bengal, Goa, etc., etc., have not turned up for this game. You have to like if your national team is playing at home, you want to support the national team, you have to make a little bit of that effort and sacrifice and whatever it takes. Like we hear so many stories of what like at the Russian World Cup where the Peruvians were playing. वो तो घर
Hmm.
बार अपना बेच के आए यार. उनको
But
आइडिया नहीं था कि वापस कैसे जाएंगे हम. बिकॉज
but
उनकी टीम
भाई,
वर्ल्ड कप खेल रही है तो
पर
ओके
वो
ठीक है
अलग
वो
अलग
वर्ल्ड कप
सोसाइटी
खेल रहे
है,
हैं.
अलग अलग
हाँ
वो है
तो
उनका.
तो
हाँ.
नहीं but in terms of economic conditions and things like that it's very similar to conditions in India, right? So आप ठीक है अब कोच को वो अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहा है, ठीक है आप you can look at it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Going back to the point, he needs to, I think, spend more time in this country, understanding different the differences in different regions, and how like other conditions impact. Nah, it's not like you're playing football in a vacuum. This is not so, and people take things personally here a little
Hmm.
bit also.
But
So
you
I
can
don't think we
understand.
should.
You can understand that.
Yeah, can understand.
अच्छा.
बारिश में आ रहे हैं,
हाँ.
रोड यहाँ पे खास नहीं है, कोई पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट इज नॉट वेरी organized. So it's not easy. It's a challenging place in many different ways, and you have to consider those kind of factors. Maybe his team is not briefing him properly on all of these things. You have five, six, seven Manipuri boys in the squad. You should have a conversation with them and understand what is going on. Also, maybe. So from I think many things to be done from a man management perspective. We'll bring it up with him tomorrow and clarify exactly what he meant to say and how
क्या
he meant to
बात
say
है.
it. Of course, because like अब वो मतलब सीधा सवाल तो पूछ ही सकते हैं ना. अब he is in a position where he can also answer straight up.
Yeah, I think
So
he
so
will.
we'll have
He
those
doesn't seem like
conversations.
the kind of guy who'll evade it. Um,
No, why should he? Anyway, he's kind of like we were saying. At least he has the option of heading out. He doesn't have to deal with this every day of his life. So that's also a factor.
नहीं, but tell me
But
something भाई. You also spoke to the fitness coach and all.
yeah,
Because
matlab, he
only apps
asked
की
me to
मैंने जिम के
kind of
फोटो लगा दिए.
he asked me to kind of keep it between us. So I won't get much into it. Um,
But what's
it
the
was
sense he's
just
giving you
just
about the
for
fitness of these
background.
boys? Hmm.
Yeah, so bottom line, and he's someone who seems to have done a lot of work with top level athletes, including the likes of Tony Kukoc, the basketball player who played at the Chicago
Hmm.
Bulls.
Pro
Uh,
player. Hmm.
yeah, he has guys who, Croatia is a small country. I think people in the fraternity all know each other. And these guys are not small fry in that community.
Yeah. Hmm.
Stimac was part of the most successful generation, probably, although they are continuing it. But end of the day, these are it's a country of what 3.5, 4 million people. Some of the cities in which where the young team Hajduk split, for example, is doing quite well. There's a city of 200,000 people, man. 200,000 people is, and you're producing top level talent. So I think what
Hmm.
they're trying to say is that guys like Luka Modric and all of the names, Rebic, all these guys, ये 5-5 6-6 घंटा डेली काम करते हैं
तो भाई का वाईफाई
ना.
फिर चले गया.
Is it?
I think you're back, bhai. I think you're back. Yep, you're back.
Yeah. So one. I mean, it's not. It's not. These are not his words. It's basically that the
Sense of
league
what
is
you picked
not.
up.
Yeah, the sense I'm getting is that again it goes back to the same thing, that because a lot of these boys are now they clearly, whoever it is, right, they are among the best in the country. By Indian standards, they are on pretty fat contracts in the ISL, being given, they are kind of celebrities, minor celebrities on social media, and that is another thing that I think the coaching staff is getting quite annoyed by. Like, this whole focus on social media and Instagram, and like हमारी ट्रेनिंग की फोटो नहीं आई, all of this stuff, जो कि ठीक है, इम्पोर्टेंट है, उनका लाइवलीहुड है, प्लस और भी, आई मीन दे आर यंग बॉयज, दे विल डू, हम लोग भी डालते हैं तो वो क्यों नहीं डालेंगे, तो वो तो ठीक है, बट लाइक वो थोड़ा रियलिटी चेक थोड़ा मिसमैच हो गया है ना, because a lot of guys are in quite comfortable situations with their club sides and things like that, not necessarily having to make so much of an effort. Also some other issues which I think, I don't know, we can get into it now also, but like not much time for development of players, right? You play against the same level of opposition again and again.
No, not really.
Why?
And what you're talking, club football or international football?
Club football, right? So
football,
essentially, I think the sense I'm getting is every time the national team gets back together after a stint with your club side, you have to start from scratch again.
But it's changing now.
Start building the whole process again.
मुंबई वाले चैंपियंस लीग खेल के आए हैं, they express themselves. उससे आदमी सीखता तो है ही at the end of the day.
नहीं, no doubt.
got that hammering. Remember that hammering? उनको खोल दिया,
उसमें टाइम भी लगता है. And हम लोग भी जब हम क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं, मतलब हम भी इसमें इतना फैक्टर इन नहीं करते हैं कि काफी सारे जो बंदे हैं वो अभी भी काफी मुश्किल सिचुएशन से निकल के आते हैं भाई. तो जैसे गुरप्रीत के साथ हम बात कर रहे हैं कि लाइक फॉरगेट अबाउट फुटबॉल एजुकेशन, वो तो एक पार्ट है ना, बट योर ओवरऑल एजुकेशन ऑल्सो, आप कितना, नॉट जस्ट स्कूल आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, travel, exposure, meeting people, different ideas. It only comes in at a stage where you're already an elite level footballer, right? Then then you are in the spotlight. So every mistake you make is also scrutinized. So many people are kind of comfortable in the space that they are in, and it's very hard to kind of knock that out of them, right? Like we were watching the training session, right? Constantly, every time they're doing a drill, you're doing a drill for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Every time the coaching staff has to remind that when your part of the drill is done, to go back to the position you started, you have to react, you have to be on. You can't then switch off and start to like amble back to the starting position. You're only training for 90 minutes. So in that 90 minutes, or जिसमें warm up भी included है, तो एक्चुअली आप ड्रिल्स कितना कर रहे हैं, आप 45 मिनट, 60 मिनट, 1 घंटा, राइट? सो उस टाइम पे सोने का टाइम नहीं है. एंड स्पेशली व्हेन योर प्लेयर्स शुड आल्सो रियलाइज दैट they only have 4 days, 5 days to prepare, right?
Can I say something? I have a counter to this.
See, ये मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है, मैं
I know जो आप बोल रहे हैं, जो when you want the collective to be intense and on, right? For the collective to be intense and on, a consistent collective needs to come together, right? If every time you have some new boys coming in, so you have one way of looking at it कि बच्चे अगर तू अच्छा perform कर रहा है, मैं तेरे को मौका दे रहा हूँ. But the other way of looking at it is, can you afford to give so many maukas? Because can you afford to keep on disrupting your collective, right? At the end of the day. So my point is, अगर आप regularly उन्हीं लड़कों को बुलाओगे और उनको बोलोगे drill, उनको पता है कि वापस जाना है वहां पे, intensity on, एक बारी, दो बारी, तीसरी बारी हो जाएगा, क्योंकि the collective is in it, right? So एक individual सुनील छेत्री पागल आदमी है तो वो up and down करते रहता है, पागलों की तरह आगे बैठता है, वो सब करता है. But for that to take over in the collective, you need to be together on and off the field. right? So I feel, I don't know. I think he needs to really narrow down his players very quickly. I know he's saying he's going to do it in June, July, and then give himself 6 months to start dropping the thing. I think he should be setting his team by June, July. Give himself a few players up and down, right? And then just go for it, right? Because you need to be not playing in the league. आपको तो 4-5 हफ्ते का कैंप लगाना ही पड़ेगा एशियन कप के लिए तैयारी
बिल्कुल
करने के
बिल्कुल
लिए। और
बिल्कुल
आपको
या नो
you'll
डाउट
have to start playing tougher teams in the build up.
या
So you will be
एग्जैक्टली
getting dejected going forward because suddenly you're asked to do something you've not been doing at home. Suddenly you're getting
एट ऑल
payload left, right, and center, and suddenly the shoulders will droop. So वो
या
आदत डालनी पड़ेगी ना भाई कि मतलब मार खाने के बाद भी कंधे तैयार हैं जी मैदान में आने के लिए
या
वापस। तो
या
वो उसको तो आई डोंट नो, आई मीन इट्स अ टफ वन भाई। वी कुड गो
No,
ऑन
no,
एंड ऑन
it's
ऑन
a
दिस।
tough one, bhai. And there will always be like multiple opinions on this. Like we were also talking earlier, and I think some of the coaching staff also probably agree on this. I don't know that this could have been an opportunity to expand the camp. Like okay, it's a FIFA window. They wanted to play like a regulation competition. I don't know why, right?
Call extra boys to the
This
camp।
was a good time to have 30, yeah, 35 players को बुलाओ भाई, right? दो रगड़ा सबको अंडरस्टैंड किसका, बिकॉज जब तक आप वो बंदे के साथ टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करेंगे, दो चार बात नहीं करेंगे, उसका आईक्यू लेवल, रिएक्शंस, ये सब आपको टीवी पे तो नहीं पता चलता है ना। और सिर्फ मैच देख के, सिर्फ आईएसएल मैच देख के आप नहीं समझ सकते हैं किसकी क्या क्षमता है, कौन किस लेवल पे खेल सकता है, क्या सीन है। तो ये तो मतलब आई मीन थोड़ा थोड़ा नहीं, काफी मिसमैच हो रहा है बिटवीन व्हाट I feel like the national teams, particularly like not particularly actually, even the age group national teams need to be given a much stronger priority. And like I don't want to give away the entire chat I had with Gurpreet, so like because we have that chat now, so we might as well listen to him
अच्छा,
saying it rather
you
than
shot
me
it,
saying
oh you
what he
shot it,
said.
okay
Yeah,
okay, got it।
I hope the video is decent
कर दी ना,
and the
कर दी
audio
ना
is decent.
दुकानदार वाली बात, हाँ बेचने आ गए।
नहीं तो बिकॉज नहीं तो लोग बोलेंगे यार कि ये सारा टाइम बोलता रहता है। ये सिर्फ मेरा ओपिनियन नहीं है ना, ऐसे लोग बहुत हैं
अच्छा,
जो एंड ये भी है कि सोल्यूशन ढूंढना इन सब इश्यूज का सोल्यूशन ढूंढना भी पॉसिबल है, इतना मुश्किल है नहीं, ये बहुत जगह में हो रहा है। Like people are pointing out, like Belgium has a small league, yeah? Croatia has a small league, Belarus has a small league. So many countries in Europe don't have 20 team leagues and like 7 sort of tiers in their league. They also play with 10, 11, 12 clubs in their leagues. But then you design the league in a way where you get, maximize that. And really, when you are in India and you're in that situation where you don't have world class players here, not even Asian class players here, right? Then you need to give clubs time to go abroad and spend time, or national teams time to go abroad and play against better oppositions, and use off season time, because you have a short season. Use off season time for development work. I mean, you can't disagree with that, right?
भाई ये इनका बताओ ना, आपने मैच देखा कल किर्गिस्तान का? क्या
बिल्कुल
दिखा?
बिल्कुल
क्या दिखा? पहले राइट ऑफ कर दिया पहले।
कुछ खास तो नहीं दिखा भाई, बट मैं मतलब टेक्निकली एक तो ठीक प्लेयर हैं। आई थिंक दे विल गेट बेटर आल्सो। उनका पहला गेम था, एलियन कंडीशंस, द पिच इज अगेन लाइक डोंट शूट मी एनीवन, बट इट्स नॉट द बेस्ट पिच in the world, so it takes a minute to get used to it. So given all of that, and I think Myanmar were really good. I mean, they were really out there to like fight for everything, and some of their players individually as well as collectively, if you see the build up to some of those moves, but they are comfortable on the ball, they are not scared, they are not, none of that stuff. From Kyrgyz, the only thing I really got to see was I didn't see really a game plan as such. I was talking to our friends in the production crew as well. I think it was I think we're all kind of in agreement on that ऐसे ही खेलने आए हैं तो खेल रहे हैं, बट बट ऐसा कुछ दिखा नहीं, एंड अटैकिंग वाइज पर्टिकुलरली ज्यादा कुछ था नहीं. जस्ट दैट दे आर सुपर फिजिकल, वो तो है.
अच्छा.
वो
हाँ.
तो फिजिकल चैलेंज तो बिल्कुल मिलेगा. दैट्स व्हाई जो भी खेलेगा परसों, मतलब वो वाला चैलेंज तो इनको मिलेगा आगे भी, और बीच बीच में तो पक्का.
तो ब्रैंडन साहब तैयार रहना फिर.
हाँ हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So, and
इंटरेस्टिंग
that's
भाई.
about it. Beyond that, I don't know any real observations from Kyrgyzstan. No one spectacular or anything like that, yeah. I think
हम्म.
again, if this is the kind of formation we play, and if the guys do what they are supposed to do, and they are good enough to do it, I think you get it. Like technically, players are getting better. There's no denying it. I think now there's a basic level of understanding of what you need to do as a unit also. So it's a matter of execution. So yeah. So
फोन आ रहा
that's
होगा
about it.
स्टीमैच साहब का.
Uh, if we execute, I see no reason why this again. I say it every time India play against these kind of teams. मतलब 3 गोल का डिफरेंस तो होना चाहिए, कोई इसमें डाउट नहीं है.
Let's
Even
hope there is भाई.
whether you look at the AFC club coefficients, right, where our league is in the overall Asian pecking order versus where the Kyrgyz league is, where most of these guys are playing, there's a huge gap, yeah. uh, I think they suffer from the same issues of course, they have some tradition because they're part of the Soviet Union and all of that. But Soviet Union also, let's not forget, was dominated by the bigger countries there, Russia, Ukraine, etc. So these outer republics, not as much, uh, but yeah. So quality wise, I think we are far superior.
ठीक है
I
भाई.
think the standard of, or the profile of our coach is much higher. He's seen much more world football than anyone probably in Imphal right now. In terms of his, so there's no reason why this shouldn't be a three goal difference.
Fair enough. Hey, I'm just summing up your
Yeah.
observations, and I'm summing up what we feel will be the lineup. There's no this thing. There's just based on observations, and this is what we feel is the lineup that Steamat Saab will put out versus Kyrgyzstan. Two up front, Chetri and Manveer. Don't go by the position that I put on the map. कि मतलब उसको right पे खेला तो right पे खेलना. मतलब two up front है वहाँ पे. हम भी टेक्नोलॉजी के मामले में कौन से सुनील छेत्री हैं, हम भी तो पीछे ही बैठे हैं, नंबर बना रहे हैं यहाँ पे। 4 आपके मिडफील्ड में होंगे, भाई कह रहा है डायमंड में होगा, तो मतलब वो 2 के पीछे जो एक बंदा होगा वो होगा ब्रैंडन फर्नांडिस, उसके पीछे होगा रोहित कुमार, सुरेश वांगजा विल नॉट प्ले राइट विंग, वी आर सेइंग ही इज गोना प्ले इनसाइड टुवर्ड्स द राइट, सो ही हैज द ऑप्शन टू कट इनटू द सेंटर, ही हैज द ऑप्शन टू गिव स्पेस ऑन द राइट, बट you'd
Yeah.
see him playing more in the center because that is his zone. हालांकि वो फुल बैक भी खेला
Yeah.
है अपनी टीम के लिए, और ये इस
Yeah.
लड़के की एक खासियत है कि ये आ सकता है, और ऐसी टीम में जहाँ पे आप ढूंढ रहे हो बंदे जो पोजीशन स्लॉट्स भर सकते हैं, उसमें एक बहुत एडेड प्लस है। एनी कह रहा है कि नावरम महेश हैज़ इम्प्रेस्ड वन एंड ऑल, जो भी उसका छोटा कैमियो था वहाँ पे, और यही मैं बात बराबर कर रहा था कि जब भाई का वाईफाई ठीक कर रहा था कि ये लड़का सेंटर में भी आराम से स्लॉट हो सकता है एज अपोज टू प्लेइंग ऑन द विंग, इसके क्योंकि इसके दोनों पैर चलते हैं, दोनों पैर चलते हैं, तो
बिल्कुल.
सडनली द वर्ल्ड ओपन्स अप टू यू, वर्ल्ड ओपन्स अप टू
और
यू एंड ही
बॉल
लुक्स अडेप्ट।
काफी, मतलब अच्छा बॉल डालता है यार.
बट भाई मैं ज़्यादा
क्या
बात
बोलूं.
नहीं करना चाहता उसके बारे में, बिकॉज़ इशफाक को भी मैंने लास्ट मैच में पूछा था क्या लगा वो, ही वाज़ लाइक भाई 15 मिनट पे लड़के को अभी डिस्कस मत करो। अभी तो
नहीं नहीं,
ट्रैजेक्टरी शुरू
डिस्कस
हुई
नहीं.
है।
मैं तो ट्रेनिंग, आई हैव सीन हिम इन ट्रेनिंग ना, क्वाइट एक्सटेंसिवली, सो आई एम स्पीकिंग फ्रॉम दैट. In a match situation, of course, the whole thing is different, and he needs a lot more testing at this level to be anywhere close to. I'm saying starting this game only because it's a game that really, in the bigger context of things, doesn't have any meaning. It's a friendly game. You're preparing. That's all.
भाई ये देखो, दिस इज़ कॉल्ड निर्वाणा पीस आउट सिंह, ऐसी कंट्रोवर्सी कर रहा है ये लोग, उल्टा-पुल्टा लाइनअप बना के, राखी सावंत टैक्टिक। हुँ, ओके, थैंक यू फॉर दैट। वी आर बैक टू
काश हम
दैट।
भाई राखी सावंत, काश हमारे फॉलोअर भी राखी सावंत जितने होते.
सही बात है भाई, हैं? रोहित कुमार आपका बैठेंगे इन फ्रंट ऑफ द डिफेंस, And what Rohit Kumar brings to the table, though we haven't seen him do it on the international level, at least at club level, is that he is links up well in attack as well. He adds a lot to your attack as well, as
Yeah,
opposed to his
and
long
you're
legs
missing
and
Rowling.
breaking up play. You're
So
missing
yeah,
Rowling. Rowling has been out of the team for a while. I think अपनी ये जगह बना रहा है लड़का.
yeah,
डिफेंस में संदेश जंगन सीबी वहाँ पे उसका भाई का फोटो नहीं मिला मेरे इस ऐप में. अनवर अली उसके साथ होगा. Remember that Anwar gives you the diagonal balls also. So if both Naorem Mahesh and Wangjam are coming inside, then Roshan and Kotal, if they go up, theoretically, technically they should be. If they go up, then that option of suddenly finding them from the stopper back position is there, which means you'll be left with 3 at the back. मतलब जगह बहुत होगी किर्गिज के पास अटैक
yeah,
करने के लिए, खोलने के
yeah.
लिए. तो मतलब वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, मुकाबला अच्छा होगा देखने के लिए इस
अच्छा
नजरिए से.
होगा. Yeah.
एंड गुरप्रीत भाई अपना गोल में है. एनी से आज बात करी है. बात करिए तो मतलब क्लीन शीट तो बनती है भाई की. एंड
बिल्कुल.
वो हम कब चलाएंगे? वो कल आई थिंक कल चलाएंगे भाई गुरप्रीत वाला.
Yeah, yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. I think there's not. भाई वो हमसे भी आगे हैं यार ये लोग, तो वो सब वन टेक वंडर हैं, तो ऐसे बात करते हैं सब.
हाय 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 हाय.
हाँ, सो तो आगे पीछे का थोड़ा साफ करना है बस, बाकी तो चलाने लायक है.
ठीक है. दैट्स द स्टोरी ऑफ योर लाइफ ना भाई. आगे पीछे का थोड़ा साफ करना है बस. बट
Well played, well
बड़ी
played.
खबर बड़ी खबर ये है कि भाई को कल टाइम दिया है सिटी मैच साहब ने 11 बजे का. उसको हम कैसे चलाएंगे? जस्ट स्टे ट्यून टू आवर चैनल ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, ऑन ट्विटर एंड ऑन यूट्यूब. कब चलेगा, कैसे चलेगा, आपको जल्द ही बता देंगे. मैं और भाई एक मीटिंग करेंगे इसके बाद, तो उसमें हम डिस्कस कर लेंगे. भाई एनीथिंग एल्स यू वांट टू ऐड? दिस वाज अ नाइस चैट. Anything else?
नहीं भाई.
Can we
No,
expect?
no.
Can we expect a full house
Yeah.
again? Given that he's already fired shots at them. Bhai.
No, हाँ.
No. Can we expect a full house given that he's fired shots at them, and also that day was a holiday? Can we expect a full house against Kyrgyz, the type we saw versus
Yeah.
Myanmar?
I think even more so, man. Because
Okay.
there's now a trophy to be won. It's kind of like a final. So everywhere we're going, like people are talking about the game. Tickets are, yeah. Also, I mean, it's also really great that this is happening in Manipur. I know everyone has said it. I was here, and many of us were here when the I League came for the first time. When Neroka started playing in the I League. I mean, for many of us who are in mainland India, the opportunity to come here and experience various parts of the culture. It's also a very diverse part of India. In that sense, it's a small state, but because it's so diverse, it's kind of like a mini India. It gives a very good kind of sense of what the complexities of the country overall. So from many aspects, I mean, and entertainment options are not that many. Things are changing, things are opening up slowly. Things are getting better, I would say, despite all the political mess that is on. But it's really great that this is happening here, and I hope that this criticism of the crowd, whatever it's worth, and somewhat criticism of the infrastructure leads to actually those things improving and getting better. Not that we decide कि नहीं यार ये एक बार हमने try किया, actually practice pitch अच्छा नहीं था, playing surface wasn't as good as ISL, तो यहाँ पे हम दोबारा आएंगे ही नहीं. वो नहीं होना चाहिए, because people really like have a deep connection with the sport here, and you'll see a full house, I'm pretty sure.
प्रेसिडेंट साहब वाहवाही कर तो रहे हैं अपनी, और ये भी अगर आप देखो उसमें पहले बोल रहे हैं आर एफर्ट्स, तो मतलब अपनी वाहवाही पहले, फिर मणिपुर के बारे में बात तो कर ही रहे हैं. सो इट्स नाइस, इट्स अ गुड डिसीजन व्हाट दे हैव टेकन.
ये तो सीधा मतलब प्रेसिडेंट ने किया, मोदी जी ने किया, जिसने भी किया है.
नहीं, प्रेसिडेंट ने किया है.
यहाँ पे जो पोस्टर्स लगे हैं, उससे तो आपको नहीं लगेगा कि प्रेसिडेंट साहब का इसमें कोई रोल भी था. उससे लगेगा कि मणिपुर सरकार ने किया है ये. तो ये सब अपना पीआर गेम खेलते रहते हैं.
हाँ ठीक है, but someone has taken the decision for it to happen in Manipur, and that someone was in Dwarka in the football house.
Yes, absolutely.
So well done to them for that.
It's a great
वेल
decision.
डन, वेल
Yeah,
डन, या
yeah, absolutely.
तो सही है, ठीक है भाई, अमेजिंग. People asking where are the other two people of this podcast? Well, they will be joining us post the Kyrgyz match, where Ishwak will be with us, Renedy will be with us, Siddhant Ani will be with us. Will he be with his beard or not? Because he's interviewing Stimac tomorrow. um, तो वो इंटरव्यू देखना पड़ेगा कि भाई टफ जाएगा कि नहीं उन पे. जाएगा मेरे ख्याल से. ठीक है, पर ये जाते-जाते मैं ये एक ये खबर पढ़ा दूँ. अ, ये इस पे बात नहीं करेंगे भाई, पर अपैरेंटली ब्रिज इज़ सेइंग दैट एफसी गोवा साइन्ड Manolo Marquez. हम बात कर रहे थे ना
Yeah,
यहाँ पे. So they're saying
yeah,
they've got him
yeah.
for next season. If so, then well done to FC Goa firstly. And secondly, then FC Goa में फ़ोन करेंगे and we'll try getting an interview with Manolo then, who by the way follows us. So it's not like he doesn't know who we are. So we'll try getting a chat with Manolo and his way forward, which means it's
Sure.
the end of Mr. Pena
Yeah.
and his one season
Everybody
with
knows who you are, Pandit.
FC Goa. No, not me. 420 grams, bhai. Um,
Yeah,
तो
that's what actually Tanmay, who has watched a lot more Indian football than I have for sure, and I think maybe you have as well. Also saying that unfortunate for Pena,
yeah, unfortunate.
but yeah, I mean, I guess
But
everyone
then
has their
it's
own
this ना
agenda.
कि मनोलो आ गया मार्केट में, तो फिर आप घुसो उसके लिए, खत्म कहानी, क्योंकि ये 5 साल का फिर सिलसिला हो सकता
भाई
है.
इससे आगे मुझे कुछ नहीं पता है. Please don't even continue this conversation.
मैं नहीं कर रहा भाई, मैं तो न्यूज़ छाप रहा हूँ वहाँ पे. आप ये नहीं देख रहे न्यू एंड इम्प्रूव्ड 420 ग्राम्स. आजकल देखिए सब कुछ आपके सामने आता है ऐसे यहाँ पे. एक बारी फिर से फॉर्मेशन देख लो, सही गलत क्या होगा वो तो उसी दिन पता चलेगा, लेकिन छाप लो इसको, ठीक है? फिर देखी जाएगी क्या सही है, क्या गलत है.
Yeah.
आपसे मुलाकात होगी किर्गिस्तान के मुकाबले के बाद. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग. गुड नाइट.